most important of which is to draw your attention to the evaluation form sitting in the centre of the table in front of you. But before I do that, just a couple of things. I would like to, I think we've had if I've sensed the mood correctly, I think we've had a terrific morning. And I would like to say a word of appreciation in particular for the role of William Crawley in this, because Bernadette was focusing on her quite rightly reminding us about needing to focus on what we mean by education, and was focusing on the rights of the child. But I think adults have rights to education as well, and this is education is a lifelong experience. So if this is a classroom this morning, and William is our teacher, and I were a Department of Education inspector, I would be taking him aside after the class is over and congratulating him on his management of cultural and political diversity in the classroom. So if you're wondering what an integrated classroom is like, this is what it's like at its best, I think. I was particularly, I want to pick up on a remark in response to Philip McDonough's presentation about the economy. Somebody talked about we're all being pushed into addressing this issue. And then Tony Gallagher's kind of tour of his quick whiz, his potted history, reminded us of the start of this. He highlighted the importance of parents. What makes the Northern Ireland situation stand out is what's happened here, the transformation in terms of integration, and also Irish language, Irish medium education, has been grassroots parental activity. 1981, a group of parents got together and talked together about starting an integrated school in South Belfast. In 1971, a group of parents got together on Shores Road in West Belfast and talked about founding Bonscoil Phobal Ferriston. And they were in both cases, they were responding to the challenge of fatalism by responding positively. The fatalist, the mood was the death of the Irish language is inevitable. So there was a response. And in terms of integrated education, the fatalism, remember what it was like in 1981? It's impossible to educate Catholics and Protestants together in the same school. Now imagine the consequences of that proposition actually being true for our future. And in a sense now we're facing the inevitability. Are we challenging the inevitability of Northern Ireland remaining forever an unviable region at the bottom of the World League table? So what we've been doing this morning has been very, we've been starting a conversation, we've been engaging in a conversation. Tony Gallagher gave us the terminology to kind of crystallise this, the choice that we're facing between a shared future and, what was it he said, a shared out future. That's coming, and we're on a journey towards this choice. Sooner or later we're going to have to face this. But we're going to face it probably most effectively in our local communities. I think we've enjoyed hearing, the discussion comes alive when people talk about their own personal experiences. When Mayblood talks about the Shankill, when Mark Langerhammer talks about Rathcoole, and so on. But when people are talking about their localities, how this works, instead of the abstract terms, how is this going to work out in our local communities? And we're going to make better choices. We're going to make the choice better if we're better informed about it, and we have become friends. And that's been part of the process this morning, face-to-face encounter. We're going to leave, I think, knowing better the people we were sitting at the table with and the gentlemen sitting at the panels that have been sitting up at the front. So the concern is how to continue the conversation. And I think the word from the Integrated Education Front and from NICVA, I think, is to make use of these organisations to try and pursue them, trying to make contact, especially the discussions that will go in localities. There wasn't a list of attendees in the pack, but I think that can be remedied, can it, by contacting the IEF if you're concerned about. And we didn't have name badges either, but we got to know each other a bit better. So that said, evaluation forms, and then lunch. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.